Uh, Good morning, dear partners. Thank you for being here with us for the ZYCOO new software introduction. We have launched our new software, the V3.2.0 version recently, with some major updates and new features. Such as the SIP Proxy, billing system, house standby, HMobile Connect, web conference manager, and some more features and updates. Let's first take a look at our SIP Proxy services. Actually, the SIP Proxy is already available in the previous version of the CooVox series IP system. Now we have made some updates to the SIP Proxy server. And what is SIP Proxy? It is a solution for remote SIP registers across various related networks. The ZYCOO SIP Proxy servers are hosted in the cloud with high-performance cloud servers. They are dedicated for ZYCOO CooVox series IPv6 system. And we built the proxy servers to provide ZYCOO customers a very easy way of remote extension register and remote branch office IPv6 integration. And the SIP Proxy service lets our customers make the best use of their office IP phone systems without dealing with any complicated network settings by themselves. That's why we built the SIP Proxy server. Here is a diagram shows that how the SIP Proxy server works. As we can see, the SIP Proxy server is hosted in the cloud, and the PBX system, the EX16S, the desktop IP phone, and the mobile phone, the soft phone app for the mobile phones, they may be deployed in different locations behind routers or firewalls across various related networks. And by using the SIP Proxy server, our customers they can connect these devices without using static public IP and without third-party DNS service, and they don't have to buy a VPN router. Just by using our SIP Proxy server, this could be done. No matter how complicated the network environment is. And let's see what's new with the SIP Proxy services. Previously, we have deployed 4 servers in different locations in the US, UK, China, and Singapore. Now we have added 2 servers in Dubai and Cape Town. And we are going to deploy more servers in more locations worldwide. And we also have added TLS support to the whole infrastructure, which means from the PBX to the proxy server and from the SIP endpoints to the proxy server, you can use TLS protocol. By using TLS, it can resolve the problem of which the SPs might have blocked the CPU, DPU, or TCP ports, but TLS will survive, so you can use TLS protocol. And in this version of CooVox series new software, we have added the interface for customers to manually input server address to be able to use newly added servers. So the customers don't have to wait for new IPPBX software, but they can still connect to the new servers we have built. And here are some advantages of using the ZYCOO SIP proxy services. By using our SIP proxy services, it can turn your on-premise IPPBX system into a cloud PBX system. As we know, you can access a cloud PBX from anywhere where there is internet connection. When you have enabled SIP proxy services on our CooVox series IPPBX system, you can also access phone call services from anywhere with internet connection. And by using the SIP proxy server, you can do remote extension register, remote EX16S deployment, remote branch office PBX integration, and you can make audio and video phone calls through the SIP proxy server. And also you can connect third-party SIP endpoints to our PBX system by using the SIP proxy services. And using our SIP proxy services, it's very easy and convenient for our customers. They don't have to subscribe static public IP from the ISPs, and they don't have to buy third-party DDNS services, and no VPN router is required, and also no professional IT crew is required, because you don't have to deal with complicated network settings. As for the service quality of the SIP proxy, the proxy servers are hosted in the cloud with high-performance cloud servers, and the servers are with dedicated gigabyte broadband, so the performance and the network quality is guaranteed. So you will have a very good audio quality, and also you can keep the IPPX behind your router or firewall for security, because traditionally without the SIP proxy server, if we are going to deploy remote extensions, we have to map our PBX system to the internet by opening ports from your firewall or your router, which will expose your PBX system to the internet, and there will be some security problems. But now you can just keep the PBX behind your router and the firewall. As for the security of user data and the user privacies, our customers don't have to worry about this. Because the proxy server just acts like a bridge, which will bridge the IP feedback system with remote SIP endpoints, and the SIP signaling and the audio stream will just pass by the server to establish remote connection, remote register, and phone calls. Not a single byte of user data will be generated and stored on our proxy server. So the user data security, the customers don't have to worry about their data security. Okay, next is our new billing system. Our new billing system is built in the PBX system, which can be accessed by the web browser. You don't have to install extra billing applications or plugins to the web browser. You just have to use the unified login screen of the CooVox series by using the billing user credentials to log in. Then you can access all the billing functionalities. As for billing control, there are two kinds of paid users in our billing system: the prepaid user and the postpaid users. As for the prepaid users, they will have to make payments to their account in advance, and then they make outbound phone calls using their account balance. As for the postpaid users, they can use the phone call services first, and their phone calls will be made using their account credit. Then their payment can be made afterwards. For all the extension users, you also have the option to lock or unlock them. If a user is with sufficient account balance, but if it is locked, that extension will not be able to make phone calls. Only the unlocked extensions can make outbound phone calls. And there's another type of user in the system, which is the non-billing users. That's some kind of VIP users in the system. All of their phone calls are free of charge. And that's some control options of the billing system. As for the billing rates, in our billing system, you can have unlimited billing rates added to the system. And here in the diagram, there are two example numbers. The extension users dial the prefix 9. The phone call is billed by billing rate 1. And if the user dials the number with prefix 0, then the number is billed by billing rate 2. And they will have the different billing costs of their phone calls. As for a billing rate consists of rules to match the number format of the extension users that might dial. For example, the number prefix and the number names. The next component of a billing rate is initial cost. It's an optional component of a billing rate, which allows you to set an initial time of the phone calls. For example, the first minute of the call to be charged with an initial cost. And let's see, 20 cents for the initial cost. After the first minute, the call will be billed by the third component of the billing rate. The third component is the main billing rules, which consists with billing units and the cost of each billing unit. Let's say the billing unit is 60 seconds per billing unit, and each unit costs 10 cents. So if the extension user dialed the number which matches this billing rate and the call lasts for 2 minutes, the cost of the call would be 20 cents initial costs plus another 10 cents billed in the second minute, which makes 30 cents of the call cost. And if you have set the initial cost at 0 for the first minute, then the call only costs 10 cents. If you have set both initial time and initial cost at 0, then the call will cost 20 cents. That's how the billing rate works. And as for the billing reports, you can have, as our billing system only bills the outbound phone calls, the inbound phone calls and the internal phone calls will not be billed. So for the billing reports, you can have detailed outbound phone call logs, and each of the phone will be indicated with its costs. And you can also do some statistics to the billing systems. The statistics can be made by day or by month or by year, and you also have the option to make the statistics by an individual extension user or the extension users. So you can have statistics of a single extension user by day, by month, by year. So you can see how much call cost is generated by this extension user in 1 day or in 1 month or in a year, or all the call costs of all extension users in a day or in a month or in a year. That's a billing report. And here, let's take a look at the billing system license policy. Billing feature is available on all the CooVox series IP PBX systems from U20 to U100. And our customers can have 1 month of free trial on all the PBX systems of the billing system. And the customers can upgrade the free trial license to a paid license anytime during or after the free trial. And as for the license of the billing system, it's once-off payment for the license, and it's a perpetual license the customers will get after the payment. And once you have the license billing system, the afterwards maintenance and feature upgrading or free of charge. That's for license billing system. Next, the house standby. So what is house standby for the CooVox series PBX system? House standby is a method of redundancy which requires two of the CooVox series IPPBX with same hardware and same software configurations to run at the same time. One of the PBX will be running as the primary server. Another will be the secondary server. And the data will be mirrored from the primary server to the secondary server in real time. So the two PBX servers will always be kept identical. Sorry. And upon failure of the primary server, the secondary server will automatically take over all the phone call services. So your phone call will not be blocked out when the primary server fails. In the below diagram, as we can see, when hot standby is configured, there will be a connection established between the two servers, and there will be real-time data synchronization and real-time heartbeat detection. And once failure is detected on the primary server, the secondary server will automatically switch all the phone call services to the secondary server. And here is a diagram shows how hot standby works. Two CooVox series IPPBX system has to be deployed in the same line to configure hot standby. Actually, two U80s or two U100 PBX. Hot standby is supported on U80 and U100 as two models. And you can use two U80s or two U100, but you cannot use one U80 with one U100. And they have to be with the same hardware configurations and the same software configurations. And each of the IPPBX systems will have an actual IP. There will be the data synchronization and the heartbeat detection will be done over their actual IP. And both of the servers will be configured with same virtual IP. The virtual IP is where the IP phones and the EX16S registers to. And also the physical trunks will be connected to SIP gateway, and the gateway registers to the PBX server over the virtual IP as well. So the PBX system don't have to be installed with telephony modules, and all the physical trunks will be connected by using SIP gateway. So if there's a server failure, you don't have to manually switching the trunks from the failed server to another server. So all your phone calls will still be able to go out through the trunks, the physical trunks. And as for the virtual IP, and when the primary server is running normally, the virtual IP will be active on the primary server. At this time, the secondary server will be in standby mode, and the virtual IP will not be activated. Only if the primary server fails, and the secondary server will activate its virtual IP. So the endpoints, the phones, the EX16S, the gateway still finds the server on the virtual IP. That's how hot standby works. And here are some benefits of using hot standby. Our hot standby feature provides customers' IP phone system with high availability. It guarantees high availability of phone service of the enterprises which phone call service is critical to them. And hot standby can help reducing the IP phone system downtime to the minimal. And there will be a rapid server switching upon the primary server failure. And if there is server failure, the system administrator will be notified by phone call or email. That's our hot standby feature. Next, the HMobile Connect. HMobile Connect is a middleware introduced by HMobile, which is a hotel division of the company Char. It provides a complete set of tools for simple and seamless integration between the IPPX system with hotel management system, the PMS system. So why we choose HMobile Connect to do the integration with PMS systems? Because as we know that there are more than hundreds of PMS systems in the market now for the hotels. We can integrate the CooVox series IPPX with several of the PMS systems, but we cannot do dozens or hundreds of the PMS systems. That's impossible. And the HMobile Connect supports integration with more than 100 PMS systems, which means our CooVox series IPPX can support integration with more than 100 PMS systems as well. And we just have to integrate with HMobile Connect, then the integration with more than 100 PMS systems is possible. And this integration is easy to be done and also easy of maintenance. By this integration, the integration of the CooVox series PBX system with the PMS systems, we can have the following features like check-in, check-out, room move, room update, room status, wake up calls, outbound call permission control, and guest room call control. That's why we choose HMobile Connect. And the next web conference. Web conference is a free built-in conference management for the CooVox series IPv6 system. And it's like billing system that you access it from the CooVox series web interface. You don't have to install extra applications to your computer or plugins to your web browser. By using the web conference manager, you can invite participants from the extension list and the phone book of the PBX system just by using your mouse and keyboard instead of using phone keypad. And then you can start and log the conference directly from the web interface. And you can have the options mute, unmute, and kick out participants during the conference. And once the conference is in progress, you can still add more participants to the conference. This can be easily done by using your mouse and keyboard from the computer. And you don't have to use the phone keypad because it's too inconvenient, too complicated to do this from the phone keypad. That's our web conference feature. And the new CooCall soft phone app. We have completely redesigned the UI of the CooCall soft phone app, and you will have a brand new experience of our CooCall soft phone app. We have also added the conference manager to CooCall. So from within the app, you can invite participants from the CooCall's contact list, and you can mute, unmute, or kick out participants from the conference in progress. And the video call is now back on both of the Android and the iOS version. And during the video call, you can now switch the camera from the front camera to the rear camera. And also, various video codecs are supported by the app. As for the extension contacts in CooCall, you can now have options to make intercom calls or paging calls by just using one of the menu buttons. You just have to type on the extension number of the extension user. Then there will be options like directly dial, intercom call, or paging call. An intercom call, you can intercom the front desk or the secretary's IP phone for brief and quick conversation. It's a two-way communication. And to make a paging call, you can page the front desk or the secretary's IP phone for brief and quick announcements. This is one-way communication. And here are some more features like call transfer, Bluetooth phone calls, one-touch recording, voicemail and recordings, and so on. Okay, let's see some more features. The updated new time condition settings. We have made major change to the time condition settings. On the previous version, you can only have 2 inbound destinations. As a result, you can set inbound destinations to business hour IVR and non-business hour IVR only. But now, in the new version, you can set 3 or more inbound destinations by linking several time rules together. For example, you can set a time rule, let's see, time rule 1, with all your weekdays, including morning business hours and afternoon business hours. If calls come in during business hours, then go to the business hour call destinations. If call came in during other times, then go to the non-business hour call destinations. And now you create another time rule. Let's see, time rule 2. The time rule 2 is configured, for example, with all your weekdays noon breaks. For example, from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. is your noon break. And if calls come in during noon break, then go to the noon break call destinations. If call come in during other times, then go to time rule 1. So now you have linked 2 time rules together, and the inbound calls will have 3 possible destinations based on the time when it's coming in. And you can also set the holidays to the time rules and set a destination for all the inbound calls during the holidays. So you can have 4 inbound destinations by using the time conditions now. So the new time condition settings is very flexible now on the new version. And you can make a very sophisticated time condition settings in your PBX system. And that's a new time condition. And another feature is the double outbound CID feature. For example, you have 2 different SIP trunks configured in the CooVox series PBX system. Now you can, and for the trunks, each of the trunks has a different outbound CID. So you can configure 2 different outbound CIDs to each of the extension. And then by using different dial rules to make outbound phone calls to different trunks, then, for example, dial rule 1 use outbound CID 1, and outbound dial rule 2 use outbound CID 2. And the dial rule 1 uses the first trunk, and the dial rule 2 uses the second trunk. So when the extension makes phone calls using dial rule 1, and the call will go out through trunk 1, and outbound CID 1 will be sent to the called party. So if the extension user dial the number using dial rule 2, and outbound CID 2 will be sent to the called party through the second trunk. That's double outbound CID feature. And the next feature is remote management. During the development of our V3.2.0 software, we have also developed our remote management platform, and it is deployed in the cloud. So if our customers is now using the V3.2.0 software, when they need support and which requires remote access the PBX system, now the customers don't have to give us remote desktop sessions. They just have to open the CooVox Series Web UI and turn on the remote management feature. Then the authorized ZYCOO support engineer who has credentials to log into our remote management platform will be able to remotely access the web UI or the command lines of the customer's PBX system for troubleshooting. And the customers, they don't have to worry about the security of their PBX system, because if they do not turn on the remote management, even if our support engineers has access to the remote management platform, but we still cannot access the customer's IPPX system with remote management turned off. And even remote management is turned on, only ZYCOO support engineer who has the permission to log into our remote management platform will be able to access the customer's IPPX system. And other users and others that will not have there will be no way for them to access the customer's PBX system by any other means. That's our remote management system. The next is EX16S remote deployment. Now on the CooVox Series V3.2.0 software, remote deploying the EX16S is not possible. And the remote deploying the EX16S is the same easy as deploying the EX16 in your local network. As we know, if we are going to deploy local EX16, we just have to auto-discover the EX16S from the CooVox Series PBX system web UI, and then we just assign 16 numbers, extension numbers to the EX16S. Then it will be configured. As for the remote EX16S, we can go to the EX16 remote EX16 auto provision page and manually add a config file for it. And in the config file, we just have to specify the server address and assign 16 numbers to it. And then we download the config file and upload to the remote EX16S. Then it will be automatically configured. As for the server address in the config file, it could be the domain name which is provided by our SIP Proxy servers. So now deploy both the local EX16S and the remote EX16S is both possible and both easy and convenient for the customers. So that's all I want to share with you about what's new with our new software version. And if you have any questions, and you can visit our website or contact our sales manager. Okay, so thank you for your time. Have a nice day.